right. It's time for the Dog and Chicken Show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Dog and Chicken Show, episode 77. Frozen, well, maybe thawing out a little bit. This is the show that once in a while makes the common Joe say, "Come on, man." So enjoy the antics of tonight. We're going to have some fun and catch up on news stories from the last 2 weeks. We got a doozy. What's up, Justin? But first off, of course, starting off with drinks. Big bucking, get clucking. Yeah, will do, man. Will do. Starting off with my normal Crown and Coke. I am going to bust open to that Napogue Castle 12 year that will later. I'll let you guys pimp out what we're going to do with that as we move along. But there's my drink of choice tonight. Of course, you see the drinking game down below. Tony, what you drinking tonight?
I got a few things. Again, I'm just having a little variety. I got some Teeling single pot still Irish whiskey in this glass. I've got some Glen Moray port cask finish in this Glencairn. And then in my fancy little tiny mug with the handle, I've got some cheap-ass Evan Williams Kentucky bourbon.
Nice. What you got for us tonight, Phil?
Yeah. Well, folks. Welcome one and all to the Dog and Chicken Show, episode 77. Let it go. Let it go. Frozen edition, folks. This is quite a cold little week. And something that I always use to warm me up during these cold seasons is I am a lover of cognac, and I'm going with Hennessy VSOP, very special old pale. It's pretty. It was my runner-up for the Cognac of Extreme in 2020, and it's a fine sipping cognac. And I figured a little bit of brandy for a cold night like this is definitely a necessity. But folks, I am the devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil KOE. Find me at KOE Nation when you're not here at Big Buckin', no space, no G, here at the Dog and Chicken Show. Like, share, subscribe, so you can keep up with all the crazy shit that happens here from week to week. And with all that being said, I hand it back to you, Chicken.
Well, I guess there's an elephant in the room we have to talk about. Phil, I know you made a video kind of saying farewell, I guess is one way to put it. But we lost a very famous broadcaster, one of the pioneers, and you very well put it. Of most people that you watch on shows like this or other podcasts or commentary, damn it, Buddha. It's always getting me. Yeah. Yeah, I totally lost track. Rush Limbaugh passed away, which, as much as I love kicking everybody's ass in the Deadpool again, like me and Chris are up 18. The closest one is 10 points. So congrats, Chris, hanging out with the big boys this year. But it is sad. It is sad to hear Rush Limbaugh passed. Phil, I know this was near and dear to you. So
yes, I've been listening to Rush Limbaugh since I was a little boy. When you're out in the tractors, when you're out in the middle of the fields, when you're doing irrigation and you're in an old pickup truck and all you got's an AM/FM radio, you either listen to Rush Limbaugh or you listened to the thoughts inside your head, and that was it. So Rush Limbaugh really did shape a lot of the dinner table conversations that I took place in our area for years. And he was not only just an intellectual leader to the right, but like you were alluding to before you kind of lost track of thought, Chicken, like I said, if you are a content creator of any kind, of any shape, of any form, whether you're left, right, completely apolitical altogether, you owe a gratitude to Rush Limbaugh. You are a part of his intellectual heritage. He was the guy that decided, I am going to, as entertainer, journalist, artist, what have you, I will connect with the audience with as few middlemen as possible. And he even and he did this before the internet. He revived a dying medium, AM radio, and kept it alive and well into this year of our Lord 2021. And he, like, basically on the strength of Rush alone was the only reason that AM radio existed for as long as it did. So anybody that's a content creator, anybody that's trying to reach out to the audience directly, you owe a debt of gratitude to that man, even if you hate him. And with that, rest in peace, Rush.
Yeah. Tony, any additional thoughts on there?
No, that's the thing. Like, my most vivid memory seeing Rush Limbaugh for the first time was, I remember him on his television show, not on the radio. He had a television show during like the I remember seeing it alongside like the Ross Perot ads during that election.
Yeah. It was the 10 years that Rush had his show.
Yeah. No, he was always just kind of a fixture of the media, of the news sources, and he was always. It didn't matter if you agreed with him or not. He had the loudest voice of the news story, and you had to appreciate that if nothing else.
God, a man close to my own heart. But, when you mentioned that show, first of all, two things I need to state. One's just pretty funny, and the other one's a very personal story about that show. First of all, if you've ever seen the actual theme song for his show, imagine like a full gospel troupe, and they're singing, "Are you ready to hear the truth? Because Rush Limbaugh is on," and that just gets repeated 27 times, and it's just the funniest. You have to watch it sometime. And another thing, just a personal story. It's in keeping with what you said, Tony, about the television show. When I was a little boy, my mom and dad would drop me off at Grandma and Grandpa's house. The Grandma and Grandpa, the one who was half Greek, half Hispanic, and the other one who was the Irish World War II veteran. So that Grandma and Grandpa, they're both very devout Democrats. My grandpa was an FDR style Democrat. He Johnny come lately come walking home with his uniform on his back and a GI loan. That was my grandpa. So, okay, they were not fans of Rush Limbaugh. And my brothers and I were at their house flipping through the channels and click, "Hey, look, it's Rush Limbaugh," because Mom and Dad would let us stay up late to watch Rush Limbaugh. And my grandma would go, "Oh my God, what are they teaching you at that house?" And it was the funniest. But and so all night, my grandpa basically spent all night roasting Rush Limbaugh while we're watching the show, and it was actually one of the more fun nights I remember having at Grandma and Grandpa's house was over the Rush Limbaugh show and arguing about it, debating it, Grandma and Grandpa trying to shape our ideas, and so it was. When you mentioned the television show, I had to bring that up because that's one of the fonder memories that I have of childhood is flipping through the channels and bam, there's the Rush Limbaugh show, and just the explosion that resulted.
Yeah, he was, I don't know, in the 90s, he was like the Trump of today. Like you mentioned his name, people had Rush Limbaugh syndrome. Like they were like, "What, you listen to Rush Limbaugh?"
Yep.
That pause you just heard when I got done telling that story, folks, was Tony and Chicken both realizing wow, that explains so much about you. a huge whopper of a puzzle piece just fell in place for both of them. They were just wow,
it all makes sense. Now I wish we had where's the more you know thing There we go. We'll get better ones. Along with that, Phil, getting past the Rush Limbaugh thing, Phil's been blessed to be on a couple other big shows in the last couple weeks, and been able to help plug a couple of things on those. So tell us about some of those shows. But I know you had something else you wanted to mention tonight.
Yes. I just wanted to mention to all you people. I've been on the Hippy Dippy podcast. I've been over the Tomfoolery show and other shows, and I've had wonderful times and conversations with all those people. Dylan Burns, great guy. And they were a great opportunity for me to try and promote something. And I generally don't try to personally promote things, but this is one of those extenuating circumstances where, folks, it is my regret to inform you that my 8-year-old nephew, Oliver, has been diagnosed with cancer. He just underwent his first round of chemotherapy 2 days ago, and he's got a hell of a fight ahead of him, but he's got a fighting chance, which is what's really important. And one of my brother's wife's friends organized this GoFundMe. It just kind of dropped out of I don't know, but Chicken, if you could hit the link for the GoFundMe for folks who want to check that out there. It's in the comments there, folks. If you would really help out. He's a great little kid, and this is really more than any little 8-year-old should ever have to face. And I know personal bias aside, I think he's an awesome little kid, and so that's me. And so Chicken, thank you for dropping that link. And folks, if you can help in any way, most important, we're asking for your prayers. We're asking for your positive thoughts, your positive energy. That's more important than anything. But if you can help in any other capacity, thank you. And with all that being said, I hand it off to you two gentlemen and all you beautiful people in our audience.
Yeah, so I do appreciate, our audience has been sharing that link all the way around. So all of you, especially on the Facebook page, I know Justin Crisp shouted out, Brendan Roy. Really appreciate anybody else who shared it that I may have missed it. But yeah, it's really cool to see. Cool to see friends like that, even online friends, or some of us only know each other through faces on a camera and a computer screen or a phone screen. So appreciate that the good people out there in the world that hang out with us here and talk some shit. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. That's awesome shit. Let's move on.
And when you think you know people. I was just gonna say, just when you think you know people, they always come out and surprise you. And so I thank you all. But yes, let's move. Let's onward and upward, as they say.
Okay, so
real quick, we didn't touch on the drinking words.
Yeah, I guess we didn't. Which is, it's been scrolling the whole time, but we have. Drinking word are Frozen, AOC, Ted Cruz, Mars, and Tony's kids interrupt the show, which tends to happen a couple times a night. We shall see. I want to kick this one off because most people that know me know I work in a retail environment, and it's cold as shit out. And so I walked into a store, and in one of the prime spots in a store to sell shit, they had coolers. And I'm like, in February? What the fuck are you guys doing? And so I'm trying to logically think through why somebody would think that was okay. And I'm like, well, it is 40 or 50 degrees warmer than it was 2 days ago. We are kind of in a heat wave. So was that a viable reason to do that? I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was a interesting little take.
No, that makes perfect sense, because you got to assume how many people over the last week and a half or so have been using their front porch or their back porch as their fridge or their freezer. Yeah, now all of a sudden there's a 30-degree weather change. Maybe they filled up the fridge. Maybe they filled up the freezer. Maybe they actually need a cooler because they're overstocked on some stuff. I'm just saying, there might be some logic to it.
Possible. Now, I'm really curious. This is something that I'm wondering if in 2 weeks we're going to see another downward spike in COVID cases just because everyone forcefully had to hunker down.
Yes.
They didn't Like they didn't have a choice. Like, and so now we'll see. Like, you never know. February is also kind of a weird month for contagions and outbreaks in general. I found out there's some really fascinating studies I've been finding that February is just a weird month, and it's not just for one hemisphere; it's the whole globe. And so people are trying to figure out why. And so that's an interesting one. But what I think is going to be fascinating here is with this cold, and yeah, like you said, like I don't know about you guys. I haven't even like had to wear a hat or anything for like the last day and a half, like because it's like 11 degrees. It's like, sheesh, heat wave. What's going on here? Like, my God, like I'm starting to sweat underneath this coat a little bit. Like, my God, what's going to happen when it's 30? Like,
so Tony, I'll pop it up on the screen.
What was
here.
it?
Tony,
3 days ago?
3 days.
Here we go.
Yeah. So Tony just sent this to me. It was Des Moines was one of the coldest places on the planet just a few days ago. Waking up to sub-zero temperatures in Des Moines isn't exactly fun. No shit. Tell me about it. With the morning temperatures between -6 and 2 below, which got way below that. Let's see. They're talking about how it could get lower. 21 below zero. 1905 was the prior record. But it's chillier than the average minimum temperature of 18 degrees. Not to mention wind chill brought Des Moines area down to -26 on Friday morning. And over the weekend, it got even lower. I think the lowest I seen was -39-degree wind chill where I live. I was like, holy shit. But it wasn't even a big wind. Like, it was a breeze, and that breeze was fucking cold. Like, when you think of like a cold wind chill, you're like 20-mile-an-hour wind. Sure, it's gonna be cold as fuck, but no, it was just a light little breeze, and you're like, oh God, like stop it.
Well, was it? I thought
wait.
yesterday or today I saw the meme where they said it was the dad in front of the dad behind the son, and the son was 2020 and the dad was 2021. And it said, that's how you get people to stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a now wait. So you're saying that things were so cold across the Midwest, chicken, that things were frozen?
Drink. Son of a bitch.
Sorry,
so
not help myself.
So it kind of breaks down like some of the other places in the world. So Anchorage, Alaska, during that same time, was 19 degrees in Alaskan City. Moscow, Russia, was 7 degrees. And Copper Harbor, Michigan, the northernmost point of the Midwest at the tip of the Upper Peninsula, was still 11 degrees. So yeah, 27 degrees in Norway's capital. Greenland was 19 degrees.
So we were like the coldest place in the world for a little while.
Yeah, for like a few days.
Midwest was the coldest place on the entire planet, and that's just fucking awesome. Like, we did it, you guys. We fucking did it. Like, hell froze over. We're finally there. I was about to say. Welcome.
It's like every joke anybody ever made about, yeah, that'll happen when hell freezes over. Like, fucking call that guy. It just happened. Like, whatever favor you need.
I got some friends who, like, their parents are Russian, and they talk about like, we know cold. We know, like, so now we can finally kick one back to anybody if you've got like some Russian friends. Like, oh, well, guess what? Bet you didn't know about like Blair, Nebraska, did you? Huh? What? Like, that's pretty weird shit.
Yeah, that's a weird flex, bro.
Yeah, it is a weird flex.
Siberia might have been cold, but what about Ohio? What?
Yeah.
Man.
Everybody's just celebrating getting like cheap ass runses right now. Like, I guess that's the big win from all
I
this.
saw that meme. Yeah, the guy's like, oh, what's that Star Wars fucking animal? They were climbing on his back, like heading to runs on Tuesday for Temperature Tuesday. You guys need it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
God, yeah. Which
two days week we've had a car not start in my driveway. I know Phil had trouble with that the other day. It's been fucking terrible.
I've seen so many cars on the side of the road.
I was basically, one of the days was basically, all right, guys, we're showing up to the farm, and we're basically just moving snow that day. That's pretty much all we're doing because we got so much snow to move. I get out to my driveway.
Yep.
Well, guys, I think you're moving snow without me. Sorry. So that's what happened to me on the coldest day of the year. Is I just hunkered down basically, and I was stuck where I was. I was like, all right, Lord, please let the electricity stay on.
Yeah, right.
I gotta say, you know what's funny?
The grid.
You know what? I thought of this. I just thought of this. How last year, when we were all supposed to be locked up and, we had the COVID baby boom happen, obviously I fell victim to that myself, but just think about this. It was too fucking cold to get it up this week. So, this might be the lowest resulting pregnancies from Valentine's Day in recent history, folks. Like, everybody was turtled up down there. Nobody was making any, sweet, sweet love unless they had a space heater right next to them the whole time. I think we could see a pretty record low turnout of babies in like 9 months. I mean, thoughts?
Yeah, I was actually going to pull up some of the memes I posted on our Discord. Like this describes it quite well. Even your chainsaw got smaller. Like, damn, it's cold outside.
Yes, it became an innie. That is correct.
I was under the impression that
what the fuck?
I was under the impression that boot knocking was one of the few ways to keep warm in a cold night. But you
gotta get it up.
Teach their own.
Oh my god.
Tomorrow.
Get the damn. I mean, Jesus! The temperatures are dire, man. What's this in the chat? Hang on, we got to address this real quick.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. This is just the perfect response. Amanda says, "I have a new." I saw that one.
For more of the memes
is it
you
your
can't see
ear?
on Facebook anymore, join us over on Discord. I'll drop a link in the chat. Anyway, so what's this comment?
So,
what dumbest shit is Amanda saying now?
Amanda Tripp says, and I quote,
Amanda says, I have a new piercing. I want to guess where. Justin, this is a peach show.
I was about to say, or did you get a piercing on your ear? Is that what she means, guys? Did she pierce her ear? Oh, yep. Tony just dropped out. Okay,
right.
so
he was
the two-man power trip show. Awesome. The great Phil KOE chicken, and who needs that rapscallion tosser? No good, Tony G. Oh, hey T, how we doing, man? How we doing?
Sorry, just trying to overtake your Shikland flag.
And thanks for dropping the GoFundMe again.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I'll reflect.
I was trying to do something else. God damn it! Why is this doing that? Okay. Anyway. That's not the one I was trying to, but yeah, definitely hit that GoFundMe. But anyway,
we're having difficulties here, folks.
I'm not. You guys get your shit together. Anyway, there's a Discord link if you want to join us in there. We always post the fun memes that you can't share on Facebook. Okay, what was Amanda saying again? Like, I totally missed this. She pierced something and wants us to guess. Let's guess. Let's have guesses. Those in the chat.
All right, yeah. The chat's guessing.
Amanda, this is a PG show. I don't know about that. It became an innie Tony.
Yeah. Yes, it absolutely did this week. You're not far off there, Justin. We turtled up quite a bit here in Geneva.
Yep, quite a bit. The fucking
okay. At least Amanda agrees it's not a PG show.
Let's give it a few minutes. If anybody's got any guesses,
face, pukey face.
Pierced her tooth. I wouldn't put it past her.
Well done, Jeremy. Well done.
Oh my god! How would you even go about doing that? Jesus! Oh
Lord!
My mouth is gonna hurt just thinking about that now. No.
I was about to say, Jeremy, don't give these kids these days any fucking new ideas, okay? Like, before you know it, you just started a new thing. Fuck. Like, thanks, man. Yeah, we don't need that.
My mouth hurts. Is that a clue? Oh, so somebody got their cock pierced.
No, that's somebody else. That'd be somebody else. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Love the
right,
imagination. Love the
Wow.
imagination there.
Well done, T. That was
Well, you
quick
know.
wit. Amanda, even you got to give him that one. That's 2 gold stars. That was well done, quick, just bam with the fucking draw. Like, I mean, that was quick draw. Well, bam, like, oh Jesus, like, yeah, well done, T. Well done. 2 gold stars.
More metal for the
Lord.
metal detector. Yeah.
Call it heavy metal. Like, I've noticed the metal detector doesn't pick up like the.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say it was
internal-
probably the tongue. It's probably her tongue. It's gonna be like some crazy. If she got the tongue pierced, is it gonna be the standard stud, or is it gonna be some weird, wacky like hoop thing that vibrates?
It'll probably like play disco music and fucking have strobe lights and shit. Like,
inquiring minds want to know. I mean, like this is the hard-hitting, fact-based journalism that you come to the Dog and Chicken Show and Big Bucket Entertainment for, so we get to the bottom of the hard-hitting issues of the day.
I just imagine Amanda's like, I'm tired of these guys always shitting on me. I want the world to know that I'm just a party when I open my mouth. So she opens her mouth and there's strobe lights and disco balls and music playing. She's like, it's a yeah, big old party going on in there.
Usually is a party going on in there.
Yeah.
Bazinga.
Bazinga. Fuck the metal detector. It doesn't get what I already have.
It's so naughty.
Yeah. Okay. We can move on. That was fun enough.
Oh Lord Almighty! So
We can dedicate too much
so
time.
it's cold outside. Boy, how the fuck did we get here from it's cold outside? Damn it.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. It's
So there are
freezing though. My feet are fucking cold.
There's some serious shit though that comes with this, with the whole Texas power outage thing. Like everybody, has been talking about the windmills and the power grid. Like that's not even the half of it. It's the supply chain and everything else that's completely fucked down there right now. That's going to impact everybody. Now, is it going to be like Tim Pool saying, "Oh, the world's coming to an end because costs and inflation's going to go crazy"? Well, probably not that bad, but there are going to be some food shortages because of not only what they've lost down there and what they haven't been able to receive. There's going to be a lot of efforts to try to get everything fixed and caught up to where it could in turn impact a lot of things. It could impact fuel prices. It could impact a lot of different things I don't think it'll be for a long period of time. Or unless it's a short hyperinflation that's just going to stay. I don't know. That could be, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be like this crazy fucking the world's coming to an end like Tim Pool always is trying to say. But I think there's going to be some cost to incur across the country because of this, because it did expose some problems in the South when it comes to not only the power grid, but everything that comes with it. You get to see what happens with 7 million people lose power. And it's freezing fucking cold outside. They weren't prepared at all.
That's the thing. Like Texas has this happen once every like 10, 15 years. They get
not even
this much
like
snow. They get
years.
this much cold. Yeah, it just doesn't happen. They're just not prepared for it. Like I had somebody come into my work that was complaining like, "Oh, you think they've never seen this stuff before?" I'm like, "Well, they probably fucking have it." You got to imagine in Texas alone. How many first-time drivers are there a year? Not just in the snow. I mean, 16-year-olds getting their license for the first time. And if you go through Texas, it's basically all the same city, just over and over and over again.
Right.
There's 7, 8-lane fucking highways in this town. And how many new drivers are there every year? Take all those new drivers and put them on fucking ice, and you can about imagine how bad it would get. But not just the roads, like you were saying, the extra energy, the windmills specifically. You see the pictures of the helicopters like hosing these things down, trying to get them de-iced. It was fucking insane. All the solar panels completely overtaken with snow.
They're using petrol-powered fuel to fucking clean off the green energy shit. It was funny. I'm sorry. I thought it was just hilarious when I was watching that.
Now, I will say, I like Tony's description.
That actually does.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But I was gonna say, like, what I love about Texas, Tony's description of Texas is kind of perfect. It's kind of like the same never-ending city. It's like you think you're going to, like, all right, we've left a city, but wait, there's still nothing but Cracker Barrels and Whataburgers and fucking gas stations and houses and everything on either side of the interstate here until, oh, we're in another city now. Like, whoa, it's like what? It's basically. It's kind of like Boston all the way down to Philadelphia is like one giant metropolis. It's kind of, that's what's happened in some stretches of Texas. Now, what they have put in between those is like a state staple. And if you have never seen it, you have to see it. It's, imagine the biggest, most super truck stop gas station convenience store had a baby with the biggest super Walmart you've ever seen in your life, and then they spray painted Texas all over it and called it Buc-ee's. You need to see this place. It's the most amazing
place.
It's the most amazing gas station, and every single bathroom stall is clean. There's just some poor fuck that's in there every minute of every day cleaning those motherfuckers. So it is the cleanest bathroom you'll ever find, and it's like, what the fuck is this place? Like, you'll be like bewildered. And they make everybody wear like these red shirts and the 8-gallon hats and the jeans. And it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. But if you're ever in Texas, do not drive by the Buc-ee's. You must stop. It's its own institution.
Yeah, you're right. It's Buc-ee's is insane. Like you could spend an entire afternoon in this place. But Lynn actually brings up something I brought up at work the other day myself. A lot of people from California just moved to Texas last year. You think Texans have never seen fucking snow?
You got to rephrase
the motherfuckers who just got there from California. Holy
you got to rephrase that, Tony. You got to be like a lot of like people like from California, like just totally like moved to like Texas.
Totally way. But I can imagine that because, you know, folks from Texas.
We are on Twitch, so I had to do some likes. Yeah.
Nice.
That's fair.
But yeah, Tony raises a great point. Folks from Texas aren't used to the snow. Folks from California, that moved to Texas, this has to be like the end of the world. And first of all, can you imagine if you moved from California to Texas now, all of your California buddies back home is, fuck you. You know that shit's going on as we speak. As we speak, that shit's happening. Poor fucks.
Yeah.
The poor fucks.
Serves you right for moving into fucking Texas.
I didn't think I'd find snow in the Gulf of fucking Mexico. What do you expect from me, man? Jesus, like I thought that was the appeal.
Yeah. Well, and you guys were talking about, you know, car batteries and people not being prepared and how much they suck on the road. None of that would matter if y'all would just buy a Ford fucking Ranger. Everything would be fine then.
Now I will say, years ago, I've got family down in Texas, and years ago, I think like my family went there the last time there was actually snow in Texas. Like I was a teenager when it happened, and they didn't care. Like they thought I was insane. And it was just a little tiny dusting. It wasn't even like the roads were hardly even covered. It was not a big thing. But to Texas, like the schools were canceled and everything. But I was like, all right, I want to borrow the vehicle. I'm going to the beach. I got to see this. I got to see snow falling on the beach. And it's actually quite a sight if you ever get the chance to see it. If you go to an actual sandy beach with snow falling on it, it's one of those few just like, you got to appreciate it if you ever get the chance. And so I can only imagine what it looks like now with some actual snow accumulation. So yeah, we will see what. God, I can only imagine the erosion because the soil doesn't really hold together all that well in Texas. There's going to be a lot of erosion in about a week or two.
Yep. I like Lynn's comment. Texas, it'd be hard for them to secede if you can't even support your own power grid. That is an important point. That's a little kick in the nuts there, Texas. You know, we're going to secede. Well, this is why there's a union. So yeah,
but not quite yet. We're going to secede, but not quite. We're gonna wait till spring.
Wait. Let's get to April, and then we'll talk about it more.
Yeah. Now, granted, it's one of those weird discussions of Texas secession and everything. Like, and I've brought up in the past, in 2016 when Trump won, there was actually quite a movement that actually got almost 400,000 signatures for a California secession movement. And this stuff just seems to kind of well up and then go away every couple of years. And in Texas, I had no idea. Again, there's apparently the Texas Secessionist Party. It's a whole party that's their whole thing in Texas. And if you're like doing the protest vote in Texas, that's how you vote. Like, fuck all this, Texas Secession Party. So that's
got a few drinks here. Justin Chris says Amanda's tongue was frozen to a pole while Ted Cruz and AOC were looking for Mars. Drink.
Dang it.
Oh, fucker.
Right.
He replaced Bernie as our.
Does that lead us into the topic?
Drink maker.
Which one? That was kind of all of them. Take your pick, man. Like,
are we done making fun of? Are we done with Texas?
I don't feel.
Well, we're done making fun of Texas, but somebody else is ready to.
There's a lot. No, I was going to say that there's a lot of people in Texas that are suffering at the moment. So I do get that we're kind of making jokes about secession and stuff. But at the same time, there's still a lot of folks that are in Texas going through a hard time. So perhaps now is not the time for flippancy in such a way. So if you want to move on to another topic, feel free, sir.
The last thing I'll say about Texas with this whole secession thing is like you still have. I know. You're like, let it go, chicken, let it go. No, not yet. Not yet.
Horse one more time. Got one more kick for that dead horse.
there's still these hardcore, like I admire Texans, especially the hardcore like Lone Star State. We never really officially joined the Union. Like we are an independent Republican. We are Republican. We are our own nation. Like there's a lot of them that still think that way, and I'm just like, then why are you still with the rest of the country? Like, God, it's really hard. It's really hard to entertain.
Texas is
I
like
admire
its own country. Yeah, they have this mentality. Like most Texans that I've met have this mentality that Texas is literally its own country, even though it's not officially. Like, Texans are very proud of Texas, and there is a lot to be proud of. And yeah, usually 360 days out of the year, they can brag about how nice it is there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Ouch. But, again, it's one of those, it's an interesting history lesson because in the history of Texas, there was 3 routes that people wanted to go. When there was, does Texas join the Union? Does Texas remain independent? There was some that were even talking of going with the Confederacy. And actually there was a 4th route. Some wanted to become like kind of a shoot-off state of Mexico. And so it is just one of those fascinating, if you're a history buff, going back and just reading about the foundation of Texas. It's a very fascinating time. And I've actually been to the Alamo. And boy, like I've been to some like really big church cathedrals when I was younger. And like going to the Alamo had that like same quiet church-like demeanor to it. Like I don't know how else to explain it.
Hold on, is this Amanda attempting to get upset about something?
She's trying to woke us.
Way to take a stand.
She said she has people living in Texas through this shitstorm. It's not funny. Yeah, I do too. Actually, I have a brother and his wife, and she's pregnant with twins. You're right. It's not funny that they have to deal with some really nasty fucking weather. It's not funny when any of us have to deal with nasty weather, but that's not what we're doing here tonight.
There's a timeout button now. People. They updated this. There's a timeout button in chat. I wonder what it does. Amanda.
Oh my God, really?
Tell me what it does. I'm putting you in timeout. Amanda Tripp was blocked for 5 minutes. Yes! I love this. This is great.
Are you kidding me? That's a thing? Yeah. Oh
so
my God.
Mean.
All right. We're done shitting on Texas. But
yes,
somebody else is shitting on Texas this week.
Yeah, let me pull it up here. Sorry, that I was like, I need to know what this button does. And Amanda, yeah, she said something that annoyed me, so we did it. Well, I did it. Whatever. I'll take full responsibility for that one. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or Sandy, Sandra, as she's actually known as, and Texas Governor Abbott fire at each other. Yeah, that is a drink. A fire at each other over deadly winter storm Green New Deal. More than 3 million Texas without power on Wednesday afternoon. Let's see. Story at a glance. Get rid of this stupid ad. So Greg Abbott criticized the Green New Deal Tuesday as his state is dealing with widespread power outages caused by winter storms. She, who introduced the Green New Deal into Congress, responded to Abbott's claim on Twitter, saying the infrastructure failures in Texas are quite literally what happens when you don't pursue a Green New Deal. So I think they're both being stupid here, because didn't Greg Abbott just get an award about being super big on green energy and being progressive on the Green New Deal shit? Like,
yeah, because that was the direction Texas has been heading, and they've actually been converting part of their infrastructure to green energy. And that's why everybody's pointing fingers at each other. People are saying, no, it's that you don't have good enough infrastructure. No, it's the windmills don't work good enough. And it does kind of go with something I've been saying, because when you've got heavy, heavy snow, sometimes it just covers up your solar panels. Sometimes the wind does not blow, or sometimes the wind blows with too much icy moisture in it, and it freezes up your windmill. So sometimes the wind does not blow in the just right way that you need it, and sometimes the sun does not shine in a way that you can make use of it. Yet our need for energy remains constant, and that is the thing we have not solved yet. Renewables, right now, they're nice, and we need to invest in them in whatever way we can to make them more efficient, but as it stands right now, we cannot power our society and our world on that alone today. And this particular weather pattern has exposed that to a lot of people. And I'm wondering what the narrative is going to look like in 18 months.
Yeah, I don't know. Quick update on Amanda. It did delete all of her prior comments. So I'm not going to do that to anybody ever again. This is kind of an experiment. But Amanda, if you're still watching and if you're that pissed off, I hope you realize you can switch over to your Facebook account and you can probably still chat there until your 5 minutes is up. So I'm just trying to help a girl out. Like, I bet she's sitting there stewing. These motherfuckers.
Somebody had to be the lab rat.
I didn't know it deletes all your comments too.
That was the ultimate. There is no more final shut up, Meg, that you could have possibly this deletes all your comments. Bam, shut up, Meg. Like, wow.
Shut up, Meg. That is funny.
That was the ultimate, Thor hammer.
Essentially, here, what we've got. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's pretty much that.
That's pretty good imagery.
Wow. Okay.
That was a good imagery.
Right. So AOC drink.
God damn it.
So she basically legitimately shit on Texas and their government because she's super pro Green New Deal, all that horse shit, and basically she's trying to guilt them into it. Like, hey, I don't care that you're suffering right now and it's your fault, so fuck all you guys. And basically she's got an entire state pissed off at her right now. Is that basically what I'm gathering from this?
She's got the opportunity to manipulate the government and the people into believing that her way of thinking is going to be the right way to go. With no data, no facts, no actual information, she is going to, you're right, shame and blame into existence the Green New Deal in Texas if she can. That's what she's going to try to do.
You know, it's kind of unfortunate because, I've said so many times, AOC is so tremendously persuasive, and I don't think she even realizes the power that she wields. And when she says things like this, it really does prove that last part right. She really does not know the power that she wields, because this was one of her least persuasive moments that I can recall in her recent career. Because it was like I was kind of touching on with you guys the other day. This is a very Marie Antoinette let them eat cake moment. It's that was the classic Marie Antoinette. They do not have bread. The people of France need bread, and she goes, "Oh, let them eat cake," just completely unattached from the actual problems they're facing. So it's like, folks, we've got problems in Texas, and they need energy now. Let them have Green New Deal energy. Like it's so unattached, and a lot of people in Texas are going to remember this going forward. So of all the things she could have said, this was one of the least persuasive things she said in a long time.
Yeah. So reading on, so between their wind, their solar, and their renewable energies, it's like I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like I don't even think 80 to 90%. I think this all got fact checked. I want to say it was like 23% is renewable already, which is 1/5 of their power. That's pretty impressive for a state like Texas. But yeah, this I don't know. It seems like it's almost like I still think it's just pandering and more of a manipulation tactic. Like she's really good at these and persuasive, sure.
She is, but
there's
it does
a very
feel like
thin line between them at many times, chicken.
Yes,
it does feel very much like we're trying to. It feels like somebody behind the scenes is like trying to make Texas blue, right? That's how it feels to me. Like we had all these Californians.
It's been the dream of the lefties
year
for fucking 2 decades. Yeah.
So Texas has 29 million people
doing this persuasion shit, trying to get them to go green. It seems like they might actually succeed at this thing this time. Like that's what they're going to do with
if they fearmonger
the power
enough,
of the 3 branches of the government. Yeah, now they're going to try to.
They throw enough kids in cages
under the goal
and do everything that they hate Trump for. They're just going to do it all in Texas and turn Texas blue. Yeah, that'd be great.
Now, chicken, I just
that'd
want
be great because then how many people are going to have moving away from Texas?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to point this out. You were saying that roughly 20 to 30% of Texas power grid has gone green.
I thought it was 22 or 23%. I can't remember.
Let's just take 20. Let's just take a very low number of 20. Just to
go you might get fact checked. That was actually where I got the figure from. Is somebody said 20 and they got fact checked that it's actually higher than that. And I was like, so you're proving their point, but
we're gonna keep an even number here. Just 20% of their power is supplied by green energy. And we've got roughly 3.5 million people without energy at the moment. Is that about right, or is it 4 million?
I thought it was 7 at one time.
Oh boy, because the population of Texas is 29 million people. So if we're assuming 3 million, just regular old 3 million people out of 29 million people, that's almost that's like 5 to 10% of the population not having any electricity. And if we go up from there, we're looking at almost 20% of the population of Texas being without power in a state where 20% of its power is provided. Are you starting to smell what the Rock is cooking here, chicken?
Sorry, I got internet issues. I honestly was not listening.
Sorry. So
I did not listen to the fucking thing you just said.
I was dropping the meaning of life. It was the most brilliant thing. What I'm saying is 20% of the state's power is roughly provided by this Green New Deal energy, or this green energy that Abbott got an award for. And at one point, that equaled to about 20% of the population of Texas being without power. Just an interesting thing to think about, folks.
Here you go. I got a little bit of information here from this Newsweek. Let me see. Let me pull this up here. Yeah, Newsweek.
Fact checkers, wash me in your judgment. Bring it. Sorry.
The graphic below, provided by Statista, illustrates that 46% of Texas's energy was generated by natural gas in 2020, with coal producing another 18%. Wind power accounted for 23%, 3% of the total share,
Wow.
while nuclear and solar power produced 11 and 2% respectively. And here is the graph.
So 25%.
So you got almost
between
half of
solar
Texas
and
being
wind.
powered by natural gas.
Well, in clean burning natural gas, no
Yeah.
less. So really, they're 18% in the naughty space, because nuclear today is not bad. Yeah, that's pretty
like,
progressive.
Nuclear. I've noticed if you break it down, every nuclear meltdown or major reaction has been a generation 1 or 2 level power plant, and we're now actually moving on to level 3, basically generation 3 and 4, if I got my numbers correct. And we've never had any problem with those, and those are fairly safe sources of energy. So nuclear, if done correctly, is a great source of energy. I mean, we've got a nuclear power plant in Omaha, and it's been awful handy.
Yeah.
It's been awful handy through all this, let me say. It's been fucking dandy having something that keeps the lights on.
Got a couple of comments here. Grow the Farm Up says Robert E. Lee is the best example of that. His quote was, "He could not turn his weapon on his neighbors, and his own state of Virginia was my part Civil War history. Had a lot of perspectives." I'm trying to remember what this is in reference to. Is this this is probably him and Brandon talking.
Secession.
Yeah, still on the secession talk. So big states' rights, but it's difficult to contemplate. I'm assuming contemplate how each state would have their own standing army for protection when the reasons we have a commander in chief and a federal military.
Yeah. Grow the Farm Up was saying the main reason earlier that secession wouldn't work, I was reading in the comments, is the United States Navy is the main reason that any secession movement would not work at all, because our Navy is the most mighty throughout the world, and it's what holds up the petrodollar. So basically, when you secede, you basically find out you have to play 99% of the game you were playing anyways, whether you like it or not, and it was kind of pointless to do anyways. And so that's, like it or not, if we could talk theory and then we could talk reality, guns, oil, and drugs runs the world, folks. Those are the three things that make the world go round. And we've lost Tony. Now it's the two-man power trip. The greatest possible duo of all time. Now that we've lost that rapscallion ne'er-do-well, we don't need him.
Back.
No. Oh, hey, T, how we doing?
I love how Phil's lag is like 5 seconds long.
Oh, I know.
No, I know you're back.
Yeah, by the time Tony comes back, Phil's like, "Tony, you disappeared." Tony's back already. Yeah. It's like...
yeah. Tony, it's a classic Bobby the Brain Heenan gag. It's like he turns around. Let me tell you something. Ultimate Warrior isn't worth one good gosh darn. He's the worst person. Terrible. Oh, Warrior, good buddy, good pal of mine, my best friend. Yeah, it's a classic.
There's something up with StreamYard tonight, because even I'm having fucking issues on my end. Like half the people's, like, I can see all the chat, I can see everybody's names, but like I get error messages on everything. What?
Chicken, I think it's you, because I literally just got your message 1 minute ago that said 12 minutes out, guys. I'm gonna get a smoke in, all set up and ready.
Yeah,
oh Jesus.
Yep. So are you gonna go get that smoke in, or I mean, Tony and I can stretch time if you need to go get that smoke in. Like, trust me, there's one thing I rarely am, and that is at a loss for words. So.
I don't know how that's even possible. I wouldn't even know my Wi-Fi. That's weird. Yeah.
Oh,
maybe it is China. I think Brian.
It's probably all the frozen.
China's messing with the electricity. I agree. It's happening.
Let it go. Oh Lord. I remember one time.
Lag. You guys miss me.
I remember one time at a card game. Yeah. I remember one time at a card game, somebody just fuck around.
I am going to refresh. I'll be back in a minute.
Nice. They actually did play Let It Go at the game, and unfortunately, because I've got a daughter that's that age. I've heard that song probably about 567 times. So I was able to sing it word for word without I think I only missed like 2 words through the whole thing. And so, yeah, that's just one of those things. And when you got a daughter, you're going to see a lot of Disney Pixar princess stories. That's just the way it is. And when you put my head over Olaf Tony in the thumbnail to this video, I was like, yes. That is too perfect. So
it just seemed fitting. I don't know. You just that shit-eating grin on top of Olaf. I don't know. You should have showed up tonight with a carrot on your face.
That's snowman in summer. Yes, that's.
Urasama, the windmills have got coronavirus. I don't know if it's actually transmittable to green energy, Urasama, but that is an interesting theory. I'll give you that one.
Urasama. Now we're gonna get a CDC warning on this fucking video. Now, God, thanks.
Urasama, also buy tickets to what? That's outstanding. You know what? I think I would. Let me be your +1. If you're going to buy tickets to watch Phil sing Let It Go at an opera house, I will be your +1 if I'm not actually producing the damn thing. Because I have a feeling I'll probably be, director, producer on that. Phil's got to be the star, but, somebody's got to run the damn thing. And it looks like Chicken's awesome Iowa internet is failing him tonight.
Oh, man. Tony, the more things change, the more they stay the same. How many times have you been producer with me just trying to grab a bit of spotlight? That's never happened before, right?
I'll give you that. No, just at least half of my life.
It's just going to be the film show. Well, folks, something's lagging in and out. Oh, there I go. Oh my God, will we ever recover without Phil? Tony, can you hear me?
I don't know.
Tony,
it's pretty bad. You sounded like a robot there for a solid 10 seconds. It was pretty rough.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto, for helping me escape just when I needed to. All right. Excellent. Excellent. I hope that was the most robotic point of the night. But if not,
that was pretty rough.
Now,
yeah, I think it's perfectly fitting that we went with the cold theme tonight because I think it literally is the problem. I think the cold weather, maybe it's because it's all starting to thaw out around here. I don't know, but I think we're all experiencing a bunch of shitty internet tonight, but it is what it is. We will trudge on as long as we can, but
technical difficulties. Yes, that's going to be going on for a little while tonight. But folks, here's the thing. Most of the Midwest was the coldest place in the world. We've had unusual weather the entire planet over. And the only thing we can really, unless you're the folks who've lost their power, the only thing we're complaining about is, the internet's kind of weird for a few seconds. Huh. You gotta admit, modernity does have its advantages, folks. Living in the modern world, it could be a lot worse. Holy shit. So the fact that the internet's just a little weird once in a while, not that bad, folks. We're gonna get through this particular one. We've been through a lot, and we're gonna be going through a lot more. But we're gonna get through it, folks, together.
So we're kind of coming back to the whole. We're coming back a bit to the whole Texas in peril situation, but really, let's just be completely honest. This wasn't really a bad story out of Texas. In fact, it was just Ted Cruz said, "Fuck this shit. I'm going to leave Texas and I'm going to Cancun because this sucks ass." The Texas senator faced fierce blowback for fleeing his state as a disaster unfolded. Text messages sent by his wife revealed a hastily planned family trip away from their freezing family home. Like millions of his constituents across Texas, Senator Ted Cruz had a frigid home without electricity this week amid the state's power crisis. But unlike most, Mr. Cruz got out, fleeing Houston and hopping a Wednesday afternoon flight to Cancun with his family for a respite at a luxury resort. This is coming from the New York Times, of course. Photos of Mr. Cruz and his wife Heidi boarding the flight ricocheted quickly across social media and left both his political allies and rivals against a tropical trip as a disaster unfolded at home. The blowback only intensified after Mr. Cruz released a statement saying he had flown to Mexico to be a good dad and accompany his daughters and their friends. He noted he was flying back Thursday afternoon, though he did not disclose how long he had originally intended to stay. And then, of course, it basically boiled down that, yeah, he had a bag packed and everything. So they said, hey, Ted, bad PR. Maybe don't fucking do that. Maybe come back and wait this one out with the rest of us, fucker.
Now, yes, that's true, but like even Tomfoolery, the Tomfoolery Show, definitely check him out. Give him a like, share, subscribe. He's Tomfoolery PC on Twitch, the Tomfoolery Show on YouTube. Give him a check out. He's got a very good point here, but Tony also says it's an optics thing. But Tomfoolery says senators have nothing to do with disaster relief. People don't seem to know how our government works. Now, he does raise a good point that senators don't actually do the disaster relief themselves. It's the governor and the federal government kind of working that out. But it is like Tony does have a good point. It is not good optics. It does not look good. It's the vaunted high above us getting out of town when the getting's good and leaving everybody else. It's Mayor Quimby. Well, now, since Springfield's about to collapse, I'm just going to take these 2 suitcases full of old Springfield's money. And I'm going to see what happens when I go over to Shelbyville. And if things go well, I'll send for the rest of you. Like it does seem a little like that. I get it.
It absolutely does. You're 100% right. It's exactly like that. I think it wouldn't be nearly as bad if AOC hadn't just done the whole, well, screw you and your non-green Texas state, even though a quarter of it plus is green. And yeah, then he still flees for Cancun. No, it's not a good look, but it doesn't really matter because if this was any other time, nobody would have batted an eye at this. Hey, it's cold. The rich politician is going to leave and go where it's not fucking cold. It's a big shot. This is news now. This is news now. We're making this dramatic because this is something that would not be surprising any other time in history of politics in America.
You are kind of right there, but at the same, it is just one of those. Damn it, Ted had to be. He got himself photographed at the wrong time. Let's be frank. It's one of those things that you're right. Most people would kind of just go somewhere where it's warm if they had the opportunity. But a lot of folks don't have that opportunity in Texas, and that's why a lot of folks went to Texas. God damn, where are you supposed to go? We can't go anymore. It's all the way down in some cases. If you're like in Houston, you're basically at the Gulf. So I totally feel for the folks of Texas, and like Grow the Farm Up was saying in the comments, this is kind of why a lot of people don't get into politics. You can't even go on a vacation with your family now without people trying to turn it into some sort of political football. And it's what's happened in a lot of democracies is when the good people get attacked for participating in democracy, you're going to progressively get worse and worse people that are willing to put up with these types of things that are going to vie for that power. So there is a double-edged sword to that.
Yep. No, it's true. But that's the thing. The day of social media now, we're unfortunately just kind of at the mercy of the general public at any given moment because everything we do is put under a microscope. And if you put yourself in a position of power and attain that level of celebrity status, everything you do is not only going to be put under a microscope, it's going to be put under a microscope in order to make you look and feel bad, because that's just how that game works, unfortunately. So no, nobody really gives a flying shit that he tried to go to Cancun. It's really more about the fact that he got to do it. We're fucking jealous, and we saw him doing it, and it makes us even more jealous because we're out here with our cars that won't start.
Yeah, now it, like you said, T, it is a bad look. Even I'll admit that. But it's you know, he's going on vacation with his family. It's just one of those things that I know I'm supposed to pretend. I know I'm supposed to pretend that I'm super offended by this and that this is the worst thing. I just can't work up to give a shit. You know, like I will go with, yeah, it looks bad, but like if I ever meet Ted Cruz, I'm still gonna be like, you know, shake hand, take picture, you know, whatever. But like, I'm not gonna be like, you piece of shit, you took off the Cancun and like, no. It's like it's less than it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It's less than preferable. But now, T, I'm curious. There's something I've been really wanting to get to tonight, and that's Mars. Would you like to lead us in with this, T?
Well, I was gonna say, not, you know, Ted Cruz. He said, "Fuck this! I'm going to Cancun. It's a lot warmer there." But some other people had a completely different idea. That some people were like, you know, NASA, and they're like, "Fuck it, we don't want to live on this planet anymore because it sucks here. Look at the state we're in." Yes, this is a pretty big story. This is coming from CNN, the article I've got posted up, those of you watching along. The Perseverance, the rover that NASA sent up, has officially landed on Mars. I've got a video I'll play here. I haven't watched myself yet, but it landed about 5 hours ago, I think, today at it was about noon our time, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Nice. The NASA team working on the Perseverance mission will give its next update at 5:30 p.m. We'll hear from them again Friday at 1 p.m. and Monday at 2 p.m. I'll go ahead and I'll try to pop up this video real quick because I think that's what we're really going to be interested in. What are your thoughts on this, Phil?
I am always optimistic when I hear about us getting new and greater technologies to further. Hey, when we are getting new and greater technologies out to further and further celestial bodies. I am someone that is obsessed with getting our species colonizing the solar system because then we effectively can't go extinct as a species. I think this is only a positive, and I'm really curious what their findings are for soil samples. And I really like, now this is just me personally. When we found evidence of the possibility of fungal spores existing on Mars, we probably should have redirected the landing site for this particular probe to somewhere close to that. I think there's really not any more important scientific mission we can send a piece of technology on than to determine if there is actually a viable piece of life on another celestial body in our solar system. But that's just me. It's kind of one of those, boy, let me tell you, if I was the U.S. government and I was in control of all that stuff, I'd do things a whole lot different. But that's just me. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what the findings are here on Mars. I'm hoping we find some interesting stuff, and most importantly, I hope we find a lot of hydrogen, because if there is, we got some possibilities, boys. We got some possibilities. Chicken, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm obviously just jumping back in. I think China fucked with my internet, and the Mars rover is the only thing that saved my internet. Some reason I'm back up and I'm just fine. So yes, technology is going to win the day. I honestly, I didn't watch any of this, and I'm usually like up to speed. I didn't even know this was going to happen today. I was really pissed that. Like I got like my fucking phone was just like, but because I do news alerts and like Google news alerts on NASA shit. And like my phone just like blew up all of a sudden with all these fucking stories of, hey, guess what? We're on Mars and we're going to do this rover thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I missed all this. What the fuck is going on? So I'm a little upset that I was completely clueless this was even happening. And apparently I am like 30 seconds ahead of you guys. I don't know.
No, I can hear you. Just we were just
No, it's kind of how
so
we're all at tonight.
dumbfounded.
I don't know why.
StreamYard's all fucked
You're
up
just
tonight.
so awestruck. We're just so awestruck with what you have to say, Chicken, that we were just like, didn't know what to say. But T, what's your thoughts on all this?
Real quick before we go to Tony's thoughts, we can avoid all of this mess with this lag and this time issues if we just had a live show coming up, like where all three of us are together in one place at the same time, and we can like avoid all of this crazy weird lag shit. Wouldn't that be great, fellas?
That's true. That's a good point. Maybe you're onto something here.
I like where this kid's going. Kid's got an idea. Keep your eyes on this space. We might have a little surprise for you folks, but we will see.
Little tickler.
What in the fuck?
Hey, I see.
Yeah, my thoughts, I guess, on this was it's exactly the same thing like you do. I had completely no idea this was even happening, and I was like, oh shit! I hope I get to make some time to watch this thing happen. And then I got stuck in line at the ethanol plant and had horrible service, and yeah, that didn't get to happen. So no, it's just, I love stories like this because it's the unknown that has always captivated mankind, and it's the thirst for knowledge, it's the desire to find out something that's never been found out before. You want to be the first, you want to express into the uncharted waters, if you will. It's why we are just natural explorers as a race. It's just a down in the cockles desire. And when we finally do something like this, it's just so fascinating because you never know what we're actually going to uncover. Now, I think we probably don't get to see a lot of the really juicy stuff that they find. They probably relay us the boring rocks and shit, but just imagine if we actually do have some crazy discovery out of this. Every time we send something up to up to the Mars specifically, we're all hopeful that we're going to find some ancient ruins of a civilization, and it doesn't usually happen, right? But God, we can hope, right? I'm always excited to see what they uncover on Mars.
I am like me. I'm a lot more realistic when it comes to finding life. I would not be at all surprised if there was not one single piece of life throughout the rest of our solar system. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But if we're going to find anything, Mars with fungal spores or simple bacteria, that's very hopeful.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's Europa if there's any simple life forms living underneath the ice where there's a lot of water. Those are pretty much our only two hopes. As far as I'm concerned with life, they think they might have found a phosphorus cloud on Venus, which some people interpreted that as perhaps being a bacterial life, like in a cloud form on Venus. But that would be very, very hard to verify, and also it would be such a simple life. You have to wonder what would be the value of even trying to extract it if that was the case. So it's some fascinating things, but I'm a bit skeptical. But yeah, Mars it's our closest heavenly body that has enough gravity to the point where we might actually be able to live there and actually adapt there. So we need to get there as soon as possible. That's did
either of you guys watch Elon's latest appearance on Rogan? Where he talked about his plans for Mars and how soon he's planning on getting people there. Go back and watch it. It was a newer one. I think it was just last week, but he's planning shit in the next like 5 to 10 years on colonization type projects. And then talked about, like, he was really honest with it. I thought it was really good because you get these people with these sci-fi fantasies that like, oh, we can just land and we'll terraform in a year or two, and like, but no, he was like, okay, here's what we have to do, and he even like talked about like, okay, how do we reactivate that atmosphere? We almost have to have like a nuclear explosion going off like every few seconds to create like an artificial sun. Like, he's talking about all these weird shit now, all these weird things that they have to do in order to make it habitable on Mars. And I was like, holy shit. And he's like, oh yeah, like this is a suicide mission for anybody who goes. Just like they all know this. Like you're not coming back. You're probably going to die there, and it's not going to be a very fun time. But that's the sacrifice you have to make to expand humanity and make us an interstellar species. Like that's what we have to do. People have to make sacrifices. Like he's being pretty cold and honest with the whole damn thing. That conversation, like they talked about a bunch of stuff on there, but that conversation of like how we get there in Mars and how we become interstellar species, like I thought it was very honest and intellectual, like just like bare bones. Here's what we have to do, and it's gonna suck. And everybody who's part of it, they're gonna be heroes, and this is gonna suck. Like there's
no other way around it. Like every time you've watched, what was it? We were probably in like middle school when it came out. Movie Mission to Mars, if you remember that one, where they sent the original crew to Mars. They get stranded for whatever reason. They make a big greenhouse to have a sustainable source of oxygen, and it's just one guy left, and they're basically sent to go bring this guy back and save him. But hell, one of the guys going to save, he ends up dying on the way to landing on the planet, and then it goes into some crazy Scientology thing. But
of course it does.
Yeah, of course it does. But the whole theory of how we actually came from Mars and we destroyed Mars, and everybody kind of went off in different directions, and Adam and Eve came from Mars on a spaceship. But I digress. But it's exactly that, because the first group of people you send there, they have no way to survive because there's no rescue mission that's going to be able to get to them in time if they are in peril. Like, it's going to be a lot of trial and error. This is very, very much like ancient technology. You have to sacrifice a few people to work out the kinks. And this is how it worked when we were building Great Walls and sending people out on expeditions to chart new land across the United States of America, right? Like, we were facing the unknown, and the people that signed up to do these things are the ones we're talking about today in the history books. So it's not unheard of. It's just, in this day and age, people are just terrified to hear other people talk that openly about that kind of a sacrifice.
Yeah. Urasama talks about a couple of... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the thing is, like, he's speaking very plainly that yes, the people that go to Mars will live their entire lives out on Mars, and they will die on Mars. And the idea is that they will hopefully reproduce, and there will be an entire generation of people that were born, live, and die on Mars, and then more beyond that. And that is the eventual plan. But to hear people speaking so coldly about that, I understand how that's
it's
a
offsetting.
problem. But the thing that we need to understand is, if you look at a rocket ship here on Earth, you see the tremendous amount of power that it... Oh, God. That's mean. That is mean.
That is hilarious. Like, totally hilarious.
But if you look at the fuel and everything that's necessary to get us off of the planet Earth, we have a tremendously powerful gravity well, and it's really hard to get out of it. And the people that we land on Mars are not going to have any technology to pull themselves out of Mars's gravity well. So once they are there, they are there, and there's nothing we can do about it. And so, yep, sorry. And so that's something you got to understand, folks, is when he's talking about they're not coming back, it's because of each planet's gravity well. Until they, on that planet, I'm trying to avoid saying it, get technology and find a readily available fuel source that they can use to actually escape the gravity well, they're stuck there. And this is a new, like, we can send resources there, but I don't think they're even going to be capable of sending resources back for quite some time. And I don't know what is going to be there that sustains their society.
It not wine. It's got some Irish single malt whiskey here, 12-year Napoke Castle.
What,
another teaser for what we just talked about is maybe an in-person thing we might be pulling off.
Let's see that again, Chicken. What do you got there?
Oh, it popped like wine. Napoke Castle.
What else might you have that would compare to that?
Oh, hold on. This is my first smell of it. I've never even tried this yet.
I think you did try that actually at Phil's about a year ago.
Probably wasted after we tried 30 different fucking scotches and bourbons. Like my fucking tongue was so fucking numb after all that shit.
Fun times.
You've got that.
You got Napoke.
What else you got there?
We also got a Napoke 16.
Huh.
Lovely.
So if somehow we could combine those two with this Napoke Castle 14, we could try all three.
Ooh. We got a full line here?
We do.
Oh, son of a bitch.
What'll we do about this?
I think we can find some way to make our powers combine like Captain Planet. I think we'll find a way. I think we'll find a way, you crazy kid.
Here is my super happy find of the week.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Yep. Yes, I got.
What letter did you get? I've got a B myself.
H.
Apparently this stuff isn't as rare as we've been led to believe.
All three of us got a bottle. All right. I had to go to 4 different stores to find it, to be fair.
Well played, Buffalo Trace and your marketing department. Well played.
Yeah, Buffalo Trace really knocked it out of the park last year with their rarity. Jesus.
All right. I did want to go back to Urasama's comment about the deep ocean shit, because that's something that always excuse me, always keeps me up at night, I guess, a little bit. Like, so definitely hide the juicy stuff, bastards. Here it is. Really interested in the deep sea stuff. I'd bet highly likelihood of underwater life on other planets in the solar system. And that, what's that, the moon of Jupiter or Saturn? They believe is nothing but just a vast ocean, and underneath the ice is all kinds of possible, Europa, possible life underneath there. But like, it was like, I can't remember when I last watched this documentary, so obviously the stats aren't going to match up. But it was like we're trying to explore space when we haven't even fucking scratched like 5% of our deep sea. Like, we're all like, let's go up there, and we're like, what the fuck's down there? Who cares? Let's go up there.
Wild.
Like, I've seen so really many hard to do, but that's right here.
Maybe it coincides with the whole Mars exploration drink, but my entire YouTube suggested videos the last week has been 7 crazy creatures you won't believe exist in the ocean. What could possibly be in this new depth that we've just almost gotten to with our deep dive equipment? There's so much that we don't know already on this planet. It's easy to forget about, because the unknown out there, you can really just make your imagination work. But when it comes to stuff that's actually on our own planet already, your mind can really betray you, because we feel like we have a good understanding of what life exists on this planet, and truly we don't know. It could be a completely different world down there, senses that we don't even comprehend, like the movie Tremors. There could be crazy tremor fucking monsters under the damn water, right?
Great fucking
now
movie.
If I may, Urasama is talking about how deep oceans are something he's obsessed with, and we don't know. We actually had a hell of a discovery just this week in Antarctica. They basically took a lot of water and they heated it up and used that as a drill. And it took a long time, and they shot, it's basically a fracking technique. And they shot basically 20 miles down. Fracking. I know, but it's just hot water on cold ice. And they bored down. It took a long time, and it was like 20 miles down. They got to this empty cavern where it's just water underneath Antarctica. And they looked down, and the only thing that was there was a boulder, and everything else was just flat. And they just happened to be coming down right on top of this boulder. And they look on the boulder, and there's actually some very primitive fungal life living on the boulder. And they it even had like little tendrils pointing out, trying to just grab any tiny bit of nutrition that might have been passing. So we even found the most basic of life all the way in the bottom of the Antarctica in a little pocket that they think what happens is it's called sea snow. When things die, it goes down to the bottom of the ocean, and a small current is carrying a few little nutrients to this small little, oh boy. Oh Lord. So anyways, pushing forward, carrying these few nutrients to this small little den. And so that's where we don't know how old this life is. And could have been there for this little ecosystem for tens of thousands, potentially millions of years, where there's no heat source, no light source, no discernible way for nutrition to get there. And yet we still have life at the bottom of the Antarctic. Now, the difference is, I don't know what organic material would provide nutrition in Europa. So there's the potential for life. There's the possibility of life. There's a lot of water. There's some heat. But if there was life there, I would be overjoyed. It would be very simple life. I don't even think there'd be anything as complex as a fish living there. But if there was nothing there at all, I also wouldn't be a bit surprised. I think life is a lot more rare in our universe than even we can fathom.
No, that's the thing. Like the beauty of it that I find is every time we go to the zoo, and we go every year now, obviously, a couple of times a year if we get the chance, since I have like 20 kids, I think, living in my house. At least that's what it sounds like when we do the first 20 minutes of the show. We go at least a couple times a year, and you get stuck. Like Omaha has the #1 or #2 zoo in the country, depending on what year it is. But you can get lost in the aquarium exhibit at the Henry Dorley Zoo because it's so impressive. They have so many different species in this vicinity, and the thing that's always fascinated me is they have like 3-4 massive jellyfish tanks. By all means, that's a creature that shouldn't even fucking exist. That thing should not have sentience. That thing should not have life. There's no reason that thing should not be just an inanimate object. But here we are. That's a creature that actually exists. So if that thing is alive and can exist in our existence, just think all the crazy shit that's far deep and below that we can't even comprehend. It is a wild thing to think about.
You know, another wild thing to think about is Elon Musk has got monkeys playing video games with their brains.
I believe that 100%.
Jesus.
That's his what's it? Neuralink? Is that what he's calling it? Or
yeah, it was kind of like, I remember listening to that was on Rogan when he was talking about that, and essentially it was like taking the steps on like being able to like heal your own body using like microchips embedded in you, like nanotechnology, but also like basically the first steps to building our own matrix.
Well, not only that, here's the most fascinating part. So like what the experiments that they're doing with this, sure, they're playing around, they're kind of memeing it a little bit, but just like the like, let's have a monkey play a video game. It's not about a monkey playing a video game. It's seeing like what capabilities you have and in like what, like trying to map out like what they can do with this technology. But they really think if they keep the progression going, that really soon, like within the next 10 years, they're going to be able to take people that are paraplegic and their brain will be able to communicate with their legs again and be able to communicate with the spine again. And so you'll have like people that are paralyzed and having all kinds of different ailments of the body, be able to fix a lot of those things. Like it's fucking incredible. But then I read an article where he's talking like people with diabetes, is it's really just like an issue in the pancreas where like the nerve receptors are either damaged, gone, or covered up with whatever fatty tissue or whatever it may be, that it can help regrow those nerve receptors and cure diabetes. Like you think of the like possibilities. If you can manipulate, you take your brain and make your brain manipulate certain individual parts of organs and bodies, like you could really fix a lot of fucking problems in the world.
Yeah.
Now, does that lead to a cure for cancer? Does that lead to like cures for all these other ailments? God, the possibilities are endless. It's fucking amazing. Like
once we begin manipulating matter, that's when we really evolve to something that we can't even truly comprehend yet.
Yeah.
I would just settle for us figuring out how cells divide. If we could just get there in my lifetime, I'd be really happy, because that would basically cure most viruses. A few bacterias and all cancers would be cured if we could just figure out why cells divide. Now, Tony Chicken, I sent in our little side chat, if you could get that picture up. It's the actual new life that was found underneath Antarctica. It's not much, but like you said, this is as alien a place to us as any other place in the solar system. The bottom of fucking Antarctica. I looked it up. This is 3,000 feet below the ice sheets of Antarctica. So this is deep. This is like,
that's what she said.
Giggity. Well done. Well done. 2 gold stars to Chicken. But so that's what they found, 3,000 feet below Antarctica. And I'm sorry, if you look at that, you cannot come to any conclusion other than that is some very simple form of life. Even if you analyze that photograph badly, that's some sort of fungus, some sort of whatever you have. And so if we find a photo like that,
folks in the
Mars
chat,
somewhere,
analyze this badly. What does this look like to you? Phil just challenged you. I want to hear it.
Boy, Chicken.
Does it look like does it look like one of Amanda's piercings?
We challenged the internet, Chicken. I am afraid what we will get back. You have challenged the internet, sir. Like that's.
Wait, Amanda pierced your butthole?
Damn it. So, new life discovered, folks.
So what? Okay. How deep did you say this was?
3,000 feet.
Why did that sound dirty?
Well, everything's going to sound dirty after somebody says giggity.
3,000 feet, or half as long as my dong.
Urasama says, "Is this Amanda's OnlyFans?"
Okay, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Damn it.
So, okay, 3,000 feet.
Lord Almighty.
What's the deepest we've been able to go underwater so far?
Giggity. I'm afraid I don't know if we're going to be able to have a mature conversation about this.
I don't know either, and there's a lot of rumors about Amanda's butthole right now.
Jesus Christ. So anyway, now in terms of Antarctica, Tony, this is as deep as we've ever gone. I don't we've had expeditions
now in
into
terms
the
of
Marianas
Amanda
Trench, which is deeper. I'm gonna let you take this one.
I'm just gonna be a 13-year-old kid in the back of the classroom laughing.
I know that's what. Yeah, Chicken's just dying over here. Yeah. No. Okay. So 3,000 feet in Antarctica. You said what? The Mariana Trench. We've gone deeper, obviously.
Yes, that's the deepest point in Earth, but this is the deepest point on one of the coldest spots on our planet. So it's just fascinating that there's any life here at all. There should be nothing. Like it just should have been a barren desert, and we were just going to get some soil samples. But instead, we stumble on this.
I can't do it.
It shouldn't even exist. That's the
God
thing.
damn
Like,
it.
something had to.
I'm reading the chat. I'm not touching it. Like
something had to have caused this. Like this shouldn't even exist by any means. It's kind of where we're getting at, right?
Yes, and so like when Urasama's saying he thinks that there could be life on Europa or other places, I understand the optimism. I think there's, it's like Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park, life finds a way. So I do understand the idea, but God, I'm skeptical because I mean, just there's a lot of reasons why just the fact that there's life on Earth alone is actually pretty rare and kind of special. So it is one of those sobering thoughts that if we're not the only life in the universe, which also don't exclude that possibility, that in the entire vastness of the universe, we're the only place where life happened to accidentally happen. But if that's the case, quite a sobering thought. But also the other thing to keep in mind, because for whatever reason, our planet had a very high concentration of phosphorus at the creation of our planet, we might actually be the oldest life in the universe. It'll be our descendants that will be the invading aliens going across the universe. So that might be kind of fascinating that, like, okay, we've got this fantasy of other aliens out there, but in reality, we're the oldest life that exists in the universe, and that's going to be us doing that. So just kind of a fascinating.
It was all because Trump made Space Force. It was all because Donald Trump founded Space Force.
It was, and when we land, all of our Space Force Marines will have the Donald Trump hair on their helmets, and they will be like, "Yes, we are the Space Force. We are the best Space Force. No Space Force has been there better."
Arisama says, I don't see any reason our planet would be specific to life. They say it's probably rare. They're constantly finding stuff like, oh man, I had no idea that this was here before. Like the scientific, like statistical possibilities, like we break those all the time. Like when statistically this should never, ever, ever happen. And then all of a sudden it fucking happens twice in 10 years. And you're like, fuck. So yeah, there's I don't know. You can throw stats and numbers at anything and try to believe it that way. When it comes to life on other planets and the, like you said, there's so much we don't know. There's so much we don't realize. Like I think you'd be a fool to actually believe that there's no possibility that life either doesn't exist somewhere else or never existed before. Like there's stars that we're investigating that are 5 billion fucking years old that have died out already. Like, you gonna tell me over 5 billion years nothing fucking grew? Like I read another article. It was like it was Venus or Mercury in its atmosphere has bacteria growing and living and surviving in the atmosphere. So like define life. You want intelligent life? Like I like you have to throw that out there. I think life is everywhere, but intelligent life, that's the challenge.
Because big brains are very costly evolution wise, and they better pay off quick or they're going to go away. And so that's the problem with having that kind of brain power. So I am skeptical, but also like anybody that's really wanting to go deep into this, go to it's a YouTube video, Isaac Arthur, The Phosphorus Problem. And he actually breaks down that literally the extent to how much life there can be in the universe is limited by how much phosphorus we actually have in the universe. To call us humans carbon-based life isn't actually accurate. It would be more accurate to call us carbon phosphorus-based life, because that is how essential it is to building even our basic DNA helix. Is mostly, it's one of the 6 elements that actually make up our DNA helix is phosphorus. And so literally in terms of how far at least us and our life, our plant life, our animal life, our human life could expand throughout the universe is limited by the amount of phosphorus that we have. And so the Earth in its formation happened to just be very lucky in having a lot of phosphorus. As far as we can tell, we don't think Mars anyways has nearly the same phosphorus that we do. So they're going to have a really hard time getting off but we need to try. But that's just something to keep in mind is we might not be the only life, but we might be the oldest life, and it will be our descendants that have to shepherd the rest of the universe along its way. So kind of an interesting, sobering thought, but I'll let you guys read some of these other comments here.
Should we jump back into politicals? Go the farm up question for the host.
We can. Let's.
We still have the Ted Cruz story to hit, so we might as well just jump.
Oh, you missed that.
Oh, it must have been super short.
Well, basically, I kind of did my impression of Mayor Quimby.
Recap. I'll watch it tomorrow.
When he was like, it was great. I did a great Quimby impression. But all right, let me read this one. Grow the farm up. Question for the hosts and chat. Will Trump's endorsement help or hurt a candidate's chances going forward? I'm going to answer that with one word. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably
like, unfortunately, that's the best way to put that, because here's the thing, in the Republican Party, you're probably not going to get elected unless Trump endorses you. Let's be frank.
I think it kind of depends on how the next 4 years unfold. I really do. I think we're going to have to wait and see what kind of events unfold, what kind of world events, what kind of events happen across our nation, like what happens, what kind of perception does Biden, does the Democratic Party itself have by the time we come around to 2024 and it's time to vote again? What kind of perception do the Democrats have? What's the climate of the entire world? And I think that's really going to be what it is, because if they really screw the pooch on this, 3 years in, people might wise up and go, oh, what the fuck did we do? Or people might double down and go, this was the best decision we ever fucking made. So I think it really kind of depends where the pulse is. But I think you're right. One word. Yes, it does. That's about the best way to put it.
So I got two different takes on this. So yes, Phil, if there was a presidential election tomorrow, yes, they would need Trump's endorsement if it was tomorrow. But there's a lot happening. There's a lot of distance from Trump already. God damn it, Tony! I hate it when you do that. It scares the shit out of me every time. Like,
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have a fucking stroke. I'm gonna have a stroke on the show one of these times when you show that.
Lynn said it.
Anyway, so I got two takes. So like,
chicken.
if yeah, okay, knock on wood. Yeah. So I'm God damn it, where was it? So if the election or whatever scenario we're trying to imagine is in short term, yes, Trump is the leader of the GOP, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. You have to get his blessing. Like the polls are showing right now, 58% of Republicans want Trump as the nominee in 2024. That's a recent poll. That's new information. And the next person is like, what, 12%, 11%? And that's Mike Pence. The next person behind that is in the single digits. Like, nobody has a fucking shot. Like,
chicken. 58% of Republicans in a poll say they want Trump. The other 32% are just lying to the pollster.
Possibly, yeah.
Sorry.
And you're right. You're probably right. But Tony made a good point of time will tell. Time changes a lot of things. Information changes a lot of things. There is one thing that you were on the panel with the Republicans yesterday, or the conservatives yesterday, and I think something didn't get a lot of attention that it should have. One thing that didn't get enough attention is Phil does have a shot in 2024, folks. Make sure you vote extreme 2024. But the DeSantis push, he is super popular right now. He is like, he could be the next Donald Trump with charisma and speaks better. He could be like the Obama Trump. He really could be. Like, he could be like, the fuck you Democrat, I'm going to fucking take you down, but I'm going to do it with smart words and not sound like a fucking bumbling idiot all the goddamn time and tweet out every goddamn emotion I have. If they can merge that, Oh my God,
Here's the
DeSantis could
thing,
be
though.
DeSantis could be the best Republican candidate since Reagan. It could happen. It could happen.
If he has Trump's endorsement, then yes. If he doesn't, he has no chance. It is actually that simple. As much as I hate to say that, if DeSantis or whoever, if they want to be president of the United States as a Republican and Trump still has a breath of life in his body, then they need his endorsement to win. Period. There's no way around that.
Trump would definitely back DeSantis as of today. Like if the elections
unless he wants to run.
Right. But like if
or
Trump's
he wants
not
one
going
of
to run,
his kids to run, or
okay,
Pence is going to run,
stop.
or you know,
yeah, like okay, all these fucking weird scenarios. But like in this scenario, Trump's not going to run. DeSantis is running. Like who else would Trump get behind? Like Nikki Haley. Nobody likes her. Honestly, nobody likes Nikki Haley.
Ted Cruz.
Not even Nikki Haley. No, I'm kidding. But
like, who else is there? Who else is there?
Ted Cruz.
No, he's
Cruz.
like actually Ted Cruz is a possibility just because the left he's almost the new Trump to the left right now. They need somebody to hate. They need a demon figure.
Yep.
So Ted Cruz has become that demon figure. Yep. So that is a possibility. But he's not handling it well.
He can't
he's not
win.
Doing
he can't win, but they could make him run.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think the plebs in the Republican Party would vote for him, though.
But he's Canadian.
Don't have to.
Now here's something that I think. Now
rules
you
don't
guys
matter
are all saying
anymore, Phil.
a lot.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
Korblick, no! Oh God, no! Dear God, no!
Why?
Hang on. Let me go back to this real quick. Justin Chris, Justin Chris says if Phil gets it in 2024, then the movie Idiocracy will be a documentary and not just a spoof film. No, I'm sorry,
You've seen
Justin,
it here first, folks.
No, this is wrong. This is not if Phil gets in. This is if The Rock gets in. If The Rock gets in, then Idiocracy becomes a fucking documentary because Hector Macho Camacho was a fucking wrestler.
Yeah.
And world champion.
And a porn star.
And world champion. And porn star, yes.
But now you guys keep saying like, oh, there's going to be so much time between now and 2024. And that is right.
A lot happens in 4 years.
You are forgetting that. In 3 years. You're forgetting something. You are forgetting something very essential. No, Democrats, you have 23 months left. Tick-tock goes the clock. Everything you advance costs you another thing that you could have advanced. You only have 23 months now until the Republicans take back the House of Representatives. That's why Nancy Pelosi is already preemptively stepping down before 2022 hits. This is going to be her last term as Speaker of the House. She's stepping down afterwards. She's doing the same thing Paul Ryan did when he knew he was going to lose the House of Representatives. So you have less than 23 months left. Tick-tock goes the clock, Democrats, and anything that you advance, everything's got an opportunity cost. If you push for some environmental regulation, you might not be able to get health care through. If you push some sort of gun control regulation, you might not be able to get voter access through. Everything is going to have an opportunity cost because you have a very slim moment in time. And the Republicans will be taking back the House and maybe even the Senate because we've been seeing just a bang-up job Joe's been doing, hasn't he? Boy, howdy. Just like in one little town hall, even the apologetic pro-Biden fact checkers have to at least say, like, okay, I have to be able to at least say I can keep my job, and I have to at least kind of fact check Biden a little bit, and he's been having one hell of a bad time of it. So I don't think it's going to take a lot for the Republicans to rally the troops and get the voters that they need out to go and vote, and that's going to happen in 2022, and Trump will be a major force behind that. And in the 2 and 4 years subsequent, you're going to have Trump shaping the Republican primaries as he sees fit. If Trump shows up in some district and campaigns, it's like a rock star showed up. And he's going to motivate people to vote for him. That's the only reason they were able to get him this time around, is because they cut his ability to campaign out from under him. So 2022, you're going to see one hell of a primary season. And the Republicans are probably, I'm going to say it with quite a bit of confidence, the Republicans are going to take back the House of Representatives in 2022.
Yeah, that's statistically kind of what usually happens. I'm still sticking with my Ron DeSantis thing. They've already shown like some heavy propaganda, like the whole did Ron DeSantis tell Biden to fuck off? Like that is a big fucking deal to plebs. Like to the story. Did you hear the story? Have anybody heard that piece of news? Like, Biden supposedly called him and was mad at him for some kind of policy he was doing with coronavirus, and so Ron DeSantis valiantly stood up and said, "Fuck you! You're not going to tell me what to do. I will use my own National Guard to protect my doses of the vaccine, and I'll protect the people of Florida." And Joe Biden says, "You refer to me as President Biden or President Joe?" And he goes, "You can fuck off," and hangs up. That's the story and the narrative and this like superhero thing that they've really pushed onto plebs. It's fucking hilarious, but like it's passionate and you believe it, and you're like, there's a governor that would tell the president to go fuck off and hang up on him. Yeah, like they're doing behind the scenes propaganda already for DeSantis. Like it's there. They love Florida. Trump's in Florida. The whole family's moved to Florida. Everybody's flocking to Florida and Texas as these amazing states. And Phil, I don't know if you're talking. It looks like you're trying to, but I don't hear anything. So just making sure you're not muted. But anyway, like everybody's flocking. Everybody's flocking to these two states. So like the narrative's already being set. I want to see how it plays out, but honestly, right now, if I seen this play out with Obama in 2004, Obama was being pushed into the same position in 2004. He was making these promo speeches and all the weird little interviews, and nobody had ever heard of this guy, and they were like slowly propping him up. He did the George W. Bush. Or you look back in the FDR told you this, and this, and then George W. Bush said, "Fuck that, throw that, pick up your shovel. We're gonna tax your shovel, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that." Like fucking, it was crazy. It was propaganda, and it was 4 years before his term. I'm seeing the same thing happen with DeSantis. I see this coming. I can't remember the quote. I'm sorry, but it was like, this is so playing out just like Obama. But it's gonna. That's why I did the Trump Obama like collusion and narrative thing. I don't know. Call me fucking wrong. Call me wrong. But everybody said I was stupid when I said Obama was gonna win in 2008. Everybody was like, "Oh fuck no, he's not gonna." I called it in fucking 20. Or not. Jesus Christ. He was what 2008. I called that shit in 2004. Or no, 2002. It was. I remember it was government class. Yeah, it was 2002. I said Obama was going to fucking be the first black president.
Yeah,
everybody
was
Phil laughed at me. Phil's like, he ain't going to fucking do a goddamn thing. And I was right.
No, I remember. Specifically, you did call that one. I will give you that.
Oh, nobody knew who he was. I knew he was going to be the guy in 2004 when he was the dude giving the Democratic basically the Democratic convention speech and kind of the hey guys, we lost this election rally speech in 2004, and that's when I kind of knew like, oh, this guy's going to be something. And so what do you know? He had himself a little bit of a run. And I think he still could be Supreme Court Justice Obama before his life's end. Like it's very, very possible in my opinion.
So yeah, Tony, what do you actually think?
About what? Who's going to be the Republican candidate?
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Ted Cruz. I seriously am. I think that at this point, as it sits right now,
you're looking at him.
Okay, besides Phil KOE, Jesus.
I think it's going to be
Thank
Ted
you.
Cruz because I don't think he has a shot at winning, and I don't think the Republicans at this point in time right now have enough faith that Donald Trump can overcome the Democrats again. We saw that happen. It's going to take all 4 years to recover from that. I think that if Trump doesn't have it in him to run again, they're going to basically take the Democratic approach this last election and put a guy out there that they don't think can win. But if they can manipulate it in a way, maybe they'll have a chance. And I think that guy is Ted Cruz because, like Phil said, or like I think it was you said, he's kind of become the new Donald Trump in terms of the ire of the Democrats. Like, okay, who do we hate right now that's still in office, that we can still punish, who we can still oust from power? We need a new target. I think Ted Cruz is that guy. He just has that aura about him. So I kind of expect him to be in serious contention next time we go to the voting polls. I don't know that he'll get the nomination, but if I had to bet right now, I would say Ted Cruz.
So I could see that as like the backup plan.
I think Biden was a backup plan. How'd that work out?
It worked.
Worked perfect, didn't it?
Yeah.
Again, I'm just saying any name we list, any and every name we list has a 0% chance of victory without Donald Trump's endorsement. Doesn't matter if we're talking DeSantis.
That includes Phil KOE.
Now, I would
got him.
If only if we could have such a day. Could you imagine the incredible parades, the fireworks that would fire into the sky? I mean, the extraterrestrials that are watching us would probably just come down and be like, okay, welcome to the Interplanetary Federation of Planets. We had Donald Trump endorse Phil KOE. I think you, as a species, you're on the right track. Welcome to the Federation of Planets, y'all. So I think that would really pretty much just seal it. It would be it. It would be pretty much the thing that this world needs. So thank you, honest, Chicken,
Let me
it's like the last stone in the Infinity Gauntlet.
I don't think it matters who the Republican candidate is, guys. Do you know why? Because I think what really is the tough, hard-hitting question, who's going to be the Democratic candidate that has to go up against Kamala Harris in, 2.5 years when Biden steps down or is taken out of, his office and Kamala steps in? Because after 1.5 years of Kamala, I think people are going to be ready for a change. So I think that Democratic primary is really going to be where it's at.
I like Justin Chris's thought here. We would all have to get elected, of course, but I'd be Speaker of the House, so I'd actually have all the power. You guys can present as being the powerful, but I would actually have all the power. That'd be great.
That's fair. Well, Phil's more the caricature.
That is unless we run the Senate. Then it's just kind of a fuck you, House. Oh, Mitch McConnell.
Wait, so I got to be Mike Pence?
Sorry. I don't make the rules here. I just kind of make them up. I'll do them. But I like how even in this drama, Mitch McConnell is still just played by Mitch McConnell. I get to be president. Chicken gets to be Speaker of the House. Tony's vice president, but no. Even in any universe, it's still Mitch. Sorry, it's just the way that works.
Well,
well done.
Primordial ooze doesn't ever go away. It's just always there.
Now, again, Republicans have a very ambivalent relationship with Mitch McConnell.
Why is Chicken muted?
Oh, and you can't even blame me this time.
I had to
Chicken.
fix my fucking microphone. My shit's being weird still.
Nice,
but should be good now. Let's start wrapping up so we can hit to the post show so I can fucking reset everything.
I would say real quick before we wrap stuff up, we need to go back to space really quick. I think this bears mentioning since it was on the thumbnail tonight. This has kind of been making the rounds. Any fans of The Mandalorian already know this. Behind Disney's firing of Mandalorian star Gina Carano. This is all coming from the Hollywood Reporter, the article that I have pulled up now. The ouster of Carano from the show draws the ire of the political right wing and marks an inflection point for Lucasfilm, who Star Wars warned repeatedly about her social posts. It's a plot twist that no studio relishes. One of its high-profile stars sparks outrage with controversial social media posts. On February 10th, The Mandalorian star Gina Carano became the latest member of the Disney fold to do so, joining a list that includes Roseanne Barr, James Gunn, Letitia Wright, and Liu Yufifi. No, I butchered that. Each drawing varying degrees of action or inaction from the studio, and no studio faces greater scrutiny over its decision than the family-friendly Hollywood giant. In Carano's case, the move to cut ties had been brewing for some time. In the months leading up to Disney's Investor Day presentation, December 10th, Carano's agents at UTA were negotiating for the actress to receive a sizable bump for a planned spin-off of Disney Plus's The Mandalorian that was to star her fan-favorite character, Cara Dune. The actress, who sources say made $25,000 to $50,000 per episode of The Mandalorian, was poised to be touted during the presentation, in which Kathleen Kennedy announced 10 new Star Wars shows, including Rangers of the New Republic, a series that seemed to tailor-made for Carano. So this all kind of comes back on her openness about being a right-winger and her opinions and thoughts based around this whole election. That's really what it boiled down to. And people on the internet didn't like it, so they canceled her. That pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
You know, like, I think this was like kind of like a career, like, I'm just going out and I'm just saying, fuck it, I'm done. Like, because, like, okay.
I don't
I'm
think
a
she
free
was
speech-
done.
Okay.
Good night.
Give
Good
me a
night,
second.
Osama.
Give me just 1 second. Later, Osama. What I'm getting at here, T, is, all right, she's been warned several times, knock it off, just stay off social media, quit doing the really attention-grabbing things that you're doing. Now, I'm a free speech absolutist, and I think you should be allowed to say anything you want without any kind of state repercussion, and really without all that much repercussion elsewhere. I think, you know, it's just words, people, not a big deal. Now, as someone that has had some experience in corporate America, my reaction was, you made a fucking comparison with the Holocaust?
Yep.
Okay, then? Really?
That was
that was my my thought there. Is like, huh. So I was like, Tim Allen made a comparison to the Holocaust and got his show canceled. There's no way Gina Carano was unaware of that. I'm thinking this was just her way of just cut ties cleanly. She can just get fired if she makes this one meme. Like, honestly, I'm not. If I just had to guess, I'm just giving you my personal suspicions. I could be very much wrong on this, but just giving you my personal suspect.
We might be on the same page here.
All right, because that's just one of those things you don't do in Hollywood. And know you're going to keep your job.
I think so. What happened directly afterwards? Within like 12 hours, Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire we're gonna have a movie and Gina Carano's gonna be the star of the movie. We're gonna protect conservatives. Like, I kind of think Gina Carano wanted out of the toxic environment she was in, and they were like, I honestly, like, who better to pick you up after a post like that? You did a Holocaust post. Who can pick you up and revive your career and keep you a conservative? Ben Shapiro. He'll come and save you. Like, it was so
Are
scripted.
either of you opposed to me sharing the tweet on the screen?
No, I don't care. The tweet, it's public. So, but like,
just as long as everybody understands this is her take, not ours.
Does this make sense? Though? Like, if you want out of this lefty toxic, you want out of this lefty toxic environment, she has been poking the bear for months, trying to get canned. She's been trying to get canceled from the left. And then all of a sudden she finally posts this. And then Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire, hold her up the next fucking morning and say, you're going to star in our film. Ben Shapiro, who is a Jew, of course, and talks about, issues with the Holocaust very often. Like, oh, who better to save the day than a righty Jew? Like, this seems so scripted and too perfect. I almost think this was coordinated, honestly.
There are no coincidences in Hollywood. And just like you're saying, like, this deal was not worked out in 12 hours.
Right.
Okay.
This was planned.
Like,
this was well
there's
planned.
just, the terms of the contract were already negotiated, and Gina just had to get out of the contract. And she found a way out. Like that. That's why I was like, when I found out,
she went, hey, Ben, I'm going to have to piss off the Jews to do this. He goes, then okay, I'll save you.
Now, let me tell you something, gang. Let me tell you something. Now, let's look at this for a second, gang. All right, no, come on now. Come on now.
Okay, hang on. All right, I don't know if I'm fully on board with this theory, but I can definitely appreciate the sentiment here. I think that Gina
you think
was
there's
at
zero
least
corruption
invested
with
in-
Jews in Hollywood?
No, that's not what
Left
I'm
or
saying.
right, it doesn't
What?
matter.
What? No. I'm talking about her getting canceled on purpose. Jesus, man.
I'm getting off the
The
screen
fuck?
on this one.
Are you trying to cancel me on our own show? What the fuck is wrong with you? Asshat.
You have fun with
Anyway,
that one,
so
chicken. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
That wasn't where I was going with that at all.
My God. What the fuck?
Well, folks, all that being said, this has been a great final episode of the Dog and Chicken Show. It's been a great run, folks. I am Phil KOE. Check me out at the new home of Thursday next week, the KOE Nation page, and on YouTube. Better subscribe because this is too hot for YouTube. It's gonna be gone real quick, folks. So thanks, chicken. Fuck. Okay.
It was just a
I-
question.
KOE.
I'm gonna hold the stance of it was just a question.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Good
God.
luck with that.
Good thing we're 2 hours and
We
6
know how
minutes
well that
in.
worked
Nobody's
out.
seen that shit. But
Oh, God,
honestly,
that's
it
so
wasn't that
funny.
bad. Like I don't know.
Well, folks, it was a hell of a show tonight.
Yeah.
We appreciate you all being
Hell of a
here for fuck. Oh my God, it was a hell of a run, folks. It was a great time. I am Phil KOE. Also, everybody within the sound of my voice, this weekend, Elimination Chamber over at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. We will be doing simulcast predictions here for the Elimination Chamber, the Dog and Chicken Show, KOE Nation. We will be bringing them all together so you can see me, your King of Extreme, defeat that rapscallion ne'er-do-well chicken and recapture the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast Championship, folks. You're going to be there to see it, and you're going to see the world get set right as your true people's champion, Phil KOE, the Lord of the Scottish Highlands, the King of Extreme, the King of the Ethereal, the Conqueror of the Ethereal, and your champion and your king. Said it all correct. Tony. Oh, and Tony's gone. Nice.
That's all right. He'll be back.
I think we have to drink. With that. His kid's interrupted. So
Is that what happened? Okay, drink. Fair enough.
there's like an 80% chance that's the case.
While Tony's dealing with whatever he's dealing with, I'm going to drop a link into our Discord. If you want to join our post show, you don't have to be on camera. You can just come in and chat, or you can just sit and listen. Whatever you want to do. There's a little private chat that you can type in, or you can talk. So I'll post a link to our Discord. Join our Discord, then you can join in on the fun and that conversation. As always, Tony, you want to say goodnight to the folks? And we got another drink there. I went to Scotch, bitches. Stop with these drinks.
Yeah, I'll just kind of mirror what Phil said. Yep, I think we're going to knock out our preview and predictions, maybe possibly tomorrow night, maybe possibly before the pay-per-view. We haven't decided yet, but you'll get notification. We'll make
There's
the
a
show
lot
happen
coming
either way.
up, folks.
Lots and lots coming up, folks. This weekend, Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast, Elimination Chamber. Could be Friday night. We do predictions and previews. Could be just before the show on Sunday. We don't know just yet, but stay tuned to find out. Also coming up on March 12th, go over to Ghost Research Investigation of the Paranormal on Facebook and YouTube. GRIP for short. We've got the Edinburgh Manor return trip on March 12th. Going to be a good time. We'll be going live, doing the ghost hunt stuff. If you're into the paranormal, definitely check that out. Going to be a good time. Like Chicken said, link to the post show in the chat. Here it is on the screen. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Thanks for trying to cancel us right there at the end of the show, Chicken.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to
so-
what I said. Sometimes I just talk and don't really pay attention to what I said.
It's gonna be-
Was
it's gonna
that
be
really
really
that
tough.
bad? I was like, what I said
This
was
is going to be
it
really
bad?
tough. The views of chicken do not necessarily represent the views of
Right.
the dog and chicken show? Shit.
That
Maybe I
doesn't work.
misworded something. I don't know, because like my thought wasn't
Ah, it's
anything
fine.
nefarious. So it is what it is. Whatever. We all say stupid shit sometimes. Fucking deal with it if you don't like it. So anyway.
You can't get canceled if you don't care.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, you can't. You can't get canceled if you don't have an audience. So fuck them. And Twitch blows. I'm just gonna keep saying it. I
Oh,
fucking hate
snap.
Twitch.
Shots fired.
People.
I fucking hate
Shots
Twitch.
fired.
Oh, it's such garbage.
Here's Twitch.
Anyway.
Here's the link to the Discord.
Yeah. Thanks, Twitch. No, last comment. Like, Twitch is the easiest way to get affiliated and make money doing podcasts, but it's not a good environment. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it there. Like, it's such garbage. Anyway, appreciate y'all tuning in. Hit us up in Discord, join our post show, and we'll see you all over there. I gave up on locals. I'm giving up on all kinds of shit. Eventually I'll give up on Facebook. Eventually I'll give up on Twitch. Yeah, whatever. We'll figure this out someday. I don't know. We might have to completely. Phil's been talking about this. We might just have to completely fucking rebrand and fucking start over at this fucking point. Because Chicken talks
Okay,
about
let's not go
juice too
scorched
much,
earth.
apparently.
Holy shit.
Jesus, I know, right? Yeah, dude, this
So,
Napogue, this
catch you later,
fucking
folks.
Napogue is good. No. Anyway, appreciate you,
Jesus.
folks. As
Holy
always,
shit.
as always, yeah, raise your glass. R.I.P. Rush. This was fun. I gotta censor myself again. Apparently, my co-hosts are telling me I'm getting too wild. Cheers,
Oh,
folks.
Lord.
As always, appreciate you. Love you. Bye.
Later.